Good evening, welcome back for a night of Dota. We are gonna see 3 best of ones tonight. They're all part of the excellent Moscow Cup, for which you can buy a ticket to get a sniper set. Just wanted to get that out there. Ticket is, by the way, pretty cheap for the amount of games that there are going to be happening, because there's going to be a lot of games. We have got a round robin group stage, which is not unusual, but there's actually 11 teams in the groups. So that's about 60 games right there. And on top of that, the top 4 teams from the group stage move on to the LAN finals in Moscow. So yeah, definitely a tournament to be enjoying for a while, because we're going to have quite a few group stage matches shown here on this channel, approximately 3 per evening. Now there are some breaks, of course, to have some also time for teams to do other things and for admins to do other things. Anyways, we're going to jump ourselves to the first match. It is Empire taking on Relax. You are doing fine. And with me today is G Advance. Welcome back.
Sup? Yeah, I mean, what an excellently named tournament.
I know, it is.
I'm sorry, that's awful.
But it's like, it had to be said at least once. Let's just,
yeah,
you know.
It had to be just pointed out as soon as I got in here. I was like, the excellent Moscow Cup.
Yes.
What a name.
Well, I have to say, I wasn't aware this tournament was happening until only, like, yesterday.
Until it started, yeah.
Yeah, this is actually the third day, the third day, I believe. So there's already there have been some games, but for Empire, this is their first match. For Relax, this is their second match. They've already got 1 win under their belt, so that's good for them. But yeah, first match of Empire. Everybody is playing 10 games in total, so there's a long way to go. So far, it is actually, I was a bit surprised, because if you look through the team names that are here, you obviously have instantly got some favorites in mind and all that. And Meteor Makers, not a team that we're going to see today, but they have not lost a game yet, and they have actually faced 2 teams which I thought might have been pretty tough for them, one especially, but they've actually managed to beat Rock's Kiss yesterday, actually, in the tournament. So it was just something that I wanted to point out. But today we're going to see Empire, Relax, and Ahead. 3 teams that we're going to see basically face each other all night in 3 best of 1 games. So I'm quite excited, and that's why I talk a bit too much and kind of overdrown you in words and stuff. So hi.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm excited to see this game. Team Empire, of course. Their streak has been ended. It's finally been ended. I believe Cloud9 beat them. Was it yesterday or the day before? But yesterday. Their streak has been ended.
It was already ended before by EG.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, alright. Well, their streak has been ended, but even so, this is still a team that right now is looking ridiculously strong. Like, way more than people have expected. Obviously, they've got a pretty strong lineup, but it just seems that they've nailed down this patch, right? Like, they know exactly what they're doing. They do some weird stuff. Their picking, for instance, is seen by some teams as very unusual. I mean, picking up Dazzle, Nyx Assassin first is great, but mostly recently we've seen things like Centaur, Ember Spirit heroes like that have been picked up earlier in the draft, and Nyx and Dazzle have both been left until the sort of second picking phase. So, yeah. I mean, yeah,
Dazzle not so
Team
much.
Empire.
But Nyx,
yeah, Dazzle
definitely.
not so much, but Nyx Assassin is a hero you can kind of always leave in. I mean, sometimes he's very nice to pick up. He's pretty nice, I'd say, versus Ancient Apparition. That hero doesn't get a lot of farm that early, and Nyx can pick him off pretty easy, but otherwise, Nyx Assassin has been struggling a little bit to initiate just because of all the 5-man Dota we've been seeing.
Yeah, I have to say, I like Relax lineup so far a little bit more, but that also might be because Empire seem a bit more standard. I can't believe that I'm saying that Dazzle is standard, but it seems to be the case.
It's because they've
I guess
set
Ancient
the
Apparition
standard.
and Centaur are standard too, but they just seem a bit more kill. I'm gonna run at you and kill you kind of thing, which I normally like. As they are actually taking quite a long time to ban out their last hero here on the second banning phase. I mean, in terms of bans, we don't see anything very surprising. Ember banned out, maybe a bit more surprising than normal, because we've seen him ignored quite a lot lately. But you know, Lycan removed, Invoker removed, Batrider, yeah, also removed. I don't blame them, as Mag is playing a pretty badass Batrider lately. So yeah, a couple supports removed from Empire. I guess that is the luxury that picking up the Dazzle and the Nyx Assassin brings with them. They can just ban out any kind of support that they want and still have something as backup. I say as backup because I'm not going to expect Nyx Assassin as a support this game. I'm thinking Nyx Assassin offlane and then still team something up with that Dazzle. as of course both the Venomancer and the Shadow Shaman would have worked great together with the Ancient Apparition. Disruptor might not be that great to proc Cold Feet, but definitely a strong control hero, and this is getting a bit extra scary with now also a Death Prophet picked up.
Yeah, Team Empire so far, they picked up rather defensive supports here. Bane and Dazzle now. Bane is their second pick as the support. Nyx Assassin will be going into that offlane role, which is nice because he's more likely to get mid-game farm and experience. You know, people are going to... If you're a support hero, people are generally going to say, this lane's mine. Whereas if you're an offlane, you can kind of turn around and be like, well, I need a Blink Dagger or I need these specific items. Mm-hmm. Surprising that Team Empire picked such defensive supports. Bane, of course, he can be great as an initiator for the team, but that's dangerous to do, I think, versus the Disruptor. You can stick down the Static Storm on him and instantly his ulti will be off. Yeah. Team Empire, they've got an unusual lineup here. I definitely wasn't expecting the Gyrocopter.
I kind of feel like
it's been something they've used. Yeah, if you look through the carry pool of heroes, there's not much else that really goes fantastically with their lineup here. I do think that that so far Relax, they're much stronger as a sort of death ball push lineup, but they might suffer as far as late game is concerned.
Yeah, so far everything that Relax has picked up has got some form of AoE thing to them. While if you look at Empire, you see Nyx Assassin, he's got a great impale, don't get me wrong, it's amazing. With his Vendetta single, his Mana Burner single, Bane completely single target, Dazzle's got nice heals keeping everybody up, but they needed something extra AoE-ish to stop the pushes from happening and actually be able to initiate onto Relax, and I think Gyrocopter works nicely with that. And on top of that, Bane Gyrocopters actually 2 patches back, we saw a lot of Bane Gyrocopters lane, mostly with something else added to that as well. But of course, a Nightmare setting up for a Rocket Barrage is a pretty decent thing to do if you know that there's not going to be a creep wave around there from your enemy team as well. So that is going to be something that they can do on the lane. I'm wondering if it's going to be enough, because the lanes for Relax are looking quite scary already. With the Death Prophet, there are of course mid heroes that will do okay against Death Prophet, but who are actually able to win against him? That's the question. Against her, sorry. Her.
Yeah, it's difficult to think of who exactly you can put up there. One thing that you can think about doing is, if you're Team Empire right now, is just putting some sort of buffer hero in the mid lane, because one of the difficulties that you struggle with Death Prophet is that she's going to push down your tower if you ever leave the lane to gank.
Yeah.
So perhaps picking a gank hero, a heavy hero like a Storm Spirit or something, who needs a lot of farm as well and can suffer in the lane versus Death Prophet, might not be the best choice. They might want to pick something that's basically just a lot tankier, can stand in the lane and just continually push her back. The Dragon Knight seems like the obvious pick for me. I'm a little bit worried for Team Empire about the Nyx Assassin pick. It is good at picking off Ancient Apparition and Disruptor if they're off, but when should they ever be off on their own this game? And Relax actually pick a Viper, so this is pure early game, really, for them. Pure early mid game. Their late game scaling is not great, but they're just going to death ball up at some point.
Yeah, I don't actually blame them. I think they have a very good lineup for that. They have got like 3 heroes. We've seen Centaur dual laned, sometimes solo laned on the safe lane. Death Prophet can solo lane, Viper can solo. I'm actually expecting here an aggressive tri lane with maybe Centaur safe lane solo against Nyx Assassin. You can do okay. And then an Ancient Apparition Disruptor aggressive tri lane. I think that can work brilliantly. Maybe they can't kill off the Gyrocopter, the Bane, the Dazzle, because there are some safety precautions that Empire can take with Nightmare, Grave, all that stuff. But they can't contest his farm. They can stop him from farming. And if they can at least, like you just named it, they don't have a brilliant late game. But if they can delay the late game of Empire, their chances only increase. So if they can slow down that Gyrocopter, that is going to be step number 1, I'd say. Empire, 1 more hero needed. We're going to assume it's their mid hero still to go. And to be honest, whichever hero Empire pick up, if it's something that could work well against the Death Prophet, well, then they can always switch it up. Then they can always put the Death Prophet on a different lane and put Viper mid instead, because Viper will beat almost anybody mid anyway. I like it a lot. Yeah,
Relax have got some nice options. If they are forced to do that, it could be difficult for them, but it seems like Team Empire, they realize that their tri lane will probably lose. So they're going to pick up a hero here who can pick up some farm. And I think this Nyx Assassin will actually go mid. and then the Mirana can possibly farm against the Centaur, because otherwise, I mean, Mirana suffers pretty badly versus Death Prophet.
Yeah.
She's not great versus Centaur either, because obviously harassing him hurts you more because of your low base damage. She'll probably farm okay versus him, though. I'm not sure. I'm a little bit worried about this Empire lineup. It's a lot harder to execute, certainly, than Relax's is.
Yeah, I think so too. And I have to say, I'm curious to see how this is going to work out, especially in terms of laning, because I'm still thinking that Resolution is going to be on the mid. And actually, his items do look like he's going mid. Oh, look at that set for the Nyx. He's got the red style unlocked for watching Casper casts. That looks pretty cool, actually. Look at that. That looks really cool.
Yeah, mostly I'm a big fan of the big ass Dagon on the top of his head.
Oh, yeah, but I already saw that one before. I didn't see the red set before, so...
Yeah, it's funny because nobody gets Dagon in professional games on Nyx Assassin anymore. It happened a little bit, but now it's just, yeah. No, it used to happen a little bit.
I know. That's, I was glad
when
that
Nyx
you
Assassin was really OP. But, yeah, it's not as common now, but... Yeah, these lanes are going to be a little bit dangerous, and already Relax are just going straight to Empire's jungle here.
Yeah, maybe we're waiting around the corner to see if they can catch someone out. They're too late to catch out Vanscore, who's already hiding near his tower. And it looks like Gyrocopter has got an escape route planned out as well. Let's see if he's going to be making it in time, though. Is there going to be poison coming off? Nope.
Nah, they can't get him. He's too deep away already.
Well, I will introduce Relax, because even though they have got different names... I actually know who's who, so I figured I'd save you from the trouble.
Thank you
for that
so
one.
much.
I know.
I knew who was who, but I also forgot. Like, I went through them all before, and then the game took a little bit of a while to start.
I wrote them down.
Oh, you wrote them down? I didn't think that far ahead.
Well, the captain of the team, Relax, you're doing fine. Playing from the Dire side here in this game for the excellent Moscow Cup. Dread will play the captain and the Disruptor in the same role. On the Viper, it's gonna be Yoki, so he's gonna be moving towards the top lane for the moment. Looks like a safe dual lane. Kind of surprised about that one for the moment. Well, I say safe dual lane, so for everybody it's moving top. Yeah, screw bottom. But Dance in Trance will play the Ancient Apparition, and that is actually Windex. But you might not know him as Windex because he's been queuing up as Dance in Trance basically all the time. So Dance in Trance, and last one is Shacklo's. Tiger in space. But Shacklo will play the Centaur. He's normally the offlaner for the team. He's gonna jungle. We've seen this before. It's not very fast, but it's something if you really don't want to go on the offlane. I guess it is. And I'm surprised they don't run an aggressive tri-lane, though. I really was expecting that.
I expected the aggressive tri-lane too. I guess they were just thinking, you know what, one of the big problems with running an aggressive tri-lane is you then can't gank their mid-hero, but it's not like it's easy to gank their mid-hero this game anyway. Resolution has an inbuilt escape on this solo mid Mirana. Speaking of which, on the side of Empire, it is Resolution. He is going to be playing the solo mid Mirana here. I thought he would go up versus the Centaur, but with the way Relax are laning, he can't do that. On the off lane for the team, though, it is going to be Mag here, going up against this very dangerous tri-lane here. He's on the Nyx Assassin. He's already managed to get level 2, though, so doing better than the Centaur is. The supports for the team, it is going to be Vanscore on the Dazzle. The other support is going to be Always Wanna Fly. He's up on the Bane here, also on his safe lane. And last but not least, it's Silent up on this Gyrocopter here.
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean, he's going to free farm, yeah. And that's something dangerous for the side of Relax, because I said this before, they don't scale that well. One thing they might be thinking of is just secure an early farm. Don't risk the aggressive tri-lane, because their 5-man group up and push is very, very strong. And they have good team fight to back it up as well.
Yeah, I guess if they would have failed the aggressive tri-lane, then they probably would have failed their entire game plan. So playing it safe, although it's, you know, you can wonder, do you really want to play it safe if you have kind of got this lineup that is saying we are gonna go all in anyway? It's interesting for sure. As Tiger in Space will get scouted out, he has to be careful because he is a slow jungler. He is still level 1. He is struggling to get levels. He's struggling to stay alive, and if someone catches him out. If there is an invis rune of some sort, or smoke, hello, always want to fly in the smoke, then he is a dead horse. I was going to say dead man, but you get man horse, I guess. Dead centaur, there you go. I'm wondering if Bane is actually going to try to go into the jungle or just try to gank up the Death Prophet.
No, they're going to try and kill this Death Prophet here. They've already got the arrow level 1 on Mirana. She's got 2 points in Starstorm. It is possible to kill him, but they have to wait for the right positioning. They might try now.
Yeah, in comes Always Wanna Fly, puts up the Nightmare, Resolution queuing up for the arrow. Let's see if the Starstorm comes out, hitting both stars. The Silent comes out still as well. They're gonna try to right-click her down though, and that's gonna be successful. Of course, Death Prophet, the dead one, the first one to die. Mirana getting the gold for that one, and actually Sheklo coming out into the middle lane to try and take some experience while the Death Prophet is dead, basically.
Yeah, and not much you can do as a Death Prophet there. She is vulnerable to early ganks, and Bane Mirana, I mean, we've seen it tons of times. It's just a very strong combination. It's not something we thought about in the draft. I think just the Bane was picked up a little late for it. Normally people pick up the Mirana before they actually go for the Bane as well, just because unlike Bane, Mirana is good sort of on her own, whereas Bane sometimes can suffer if he's not comboed up with the right hero. But yeah, Always Wanna Fly, good smoke gank, they get the first blood, and that'll give Resolution a nice helping hand in the mid lane here, because he will otherwise lose this lane.
Yep.
His base damage is way worse, and his wave clear is not as good either.
Yeah, and he is still behind the last hits, just the first blood gold, of course, that will make sure that he's not dropping too far behind. So far, I would actually say that he is probably slightly ahead. In the meantime, we can also kind of compare the Gyrocopter to the Viper. Gyrocopter Silent sitting on 29 to 12, while Viper is sitting on 29 to 8. So this is a very even competition, with the biggest difference is that, of course, the Viper has got someone playing against him, Mag, who is, by the way, he is surprisingly still high on regen. I was actually expecting him to have already burned through all his regen, but he's sitting at level 4, still has a Tango, still has a Salve, he's doing okay. We can compare him to the Centaur, who is not doing that okay, but he will go faster and faster as time goes on. And he only needs level 6, and then he can be still be a monster if his team helps him out a bit with getting early tower gold, which is what he needs, because that's the only place he's gonna get farm from if he wants to try and get ahead to be as tanky as he can be. But yeah, so far we're a fairly even game, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, Nyx Assassin and Centaur, they both pretty much fill the same role for these teams as well. I mean, Centaur, he can help his whole team move faster. It looks like they're going to go on Mag here. They're going to send him back in a few seconds. He's disrupted back.
And that is going to be Spike Carapace. Impale coming out as well, and he actually got a kill with that. In comes the Dazzle, gets himself another kill. Mag already popping himself, and he will live as well. That is a 2-for-0 in favor of Empire. A bit greedy there from Relax. What a turnaround indeed. One Spike Carapace can change the whole game around. It was level 2 Spike Carapace as well though, so that was a bit extra stun duration time. A level 3 Impale. Pretty decently done by Mag. Clutch play.
Yeah, very decently done by Mag, and perfectly timed in the Spike Carapace. He used his Spike Carapace when they're all grouped up, so he was able to get that 3-man Impale. And nice rotation from Vanscore as well. This is something that supports need to be able to do, is in a game like this, where your offlaner, they are at danger of dying. It's not like Nyx Assassin has a good escape, and even if he did, Glimpse is just going to pull you back. So your supports, they need to have TP scrolls on them, just so they can counter initiate. And actually, Always Wanna Fly is just, yeah, he's just gonna mess with the Centaur here.
Oh, mess with him, I'd say kill him. Because Starstorm, Resolution just coming in, still getting silent up. The haste rune will keep that Death Prophet safe. Tamar Wild. Did I introduce Death Prophet as Tamar Wild? Hereby I did still.
Yeah, I think you did.
Well,
I don't know.
Regardless, this is getting scary because all these heroes are relaxed. They are pretty decent, but they do need a good start to get their death ball rolling, as you called it. And so far, they are getting slowed down in that, and that gives that Gyrocopter all the more time to get a bit fat and tanky. Apparently, that combines with attack, but fat and tanky, and he's already picked up his Helm of Iron Will, so Helm of the Dominator on its way, I'd say.
Yeah, and that is a big thing for them, because, like you said in the drafting phase, Gyrocopter, he's a lot of their counter push actually. He can clear off the creep waves quite easily with Flat Cannon and with cooldown. He's able to do some good damage, so if he can get himself, you know, a Helm of the Dominator, a BKB, and then maybe start working on one other item, he's going to be sort of that blocker for when Relax do start to group up and try to take some towers. Obviously they're going to do it at some point, but it seems like Relax, they're just waiting on some key items for the moment, and those key items, they're going to come fairly slowly, and Resolution actually, he's got an Invis rune, he's going to possibly go for the Centaur again, yeah. Easy pick off for him.
Missed that one. Was following.
He just point blank sacred arrowed him from Invis rune. It was pretty standard stuff. But Mag here actually, he's got his level 6 as well.
He's gonna go for Tamar Wild, looking for that impale. Finds it. No, doesn't find it at all. Arrow doesn't find its target either. Tamar Wild still on the run. He's got some stick charges, but there is the Nightmare, the Brain Sap, the stars, and Resolution is dominating. It is 6-0. And this is going further south very fast, and Viper still building towards his item to try and get that mech ready, because they just need some core items before they can actually get their plan set in motion. And until that happens, until that time, looks like Empire is just willing to mess up their plans and just kill them off left and right. They still get Resolution stuck next to the tower, but Mag, oh my god, good guy Mag will tank up the tower while Resolution is stuck in the kinetic field. That was just very friendly of him.
Yeah, and I mean, that's important to do because unlike Mag, Resolution needs to spend more time getting more, because Mirana, just a more item-dependent hero, and Nyx Assassin, he only really needs 2 things: Arcane Boots and a Blink Dagger. Outside of that, everything else is a luxury for that hero, whereas Mirana, well, she can do things. It requires you to be pretty perfect with the arrows, and of course you can't always rely on that. We saw him miss an arrow in the mid lane. I actually thought the way they threw their stuns was very clever. Then they threw it towards where the Death Prophet would want to escape, so she was forced to sort of dodge down, and that slowed her down and meant she didn't have any chance. And yeah, Death Prophet goes down now, and this is actually very quickly spiraling in the way of Empire's towards Empire's control here. They're up 7 kills. I mean, it doesn't feel like that. It's very surgical from Empire, not the sort of thing you expect from CIS.
Arrow misses it. The silence actually comes out, so no Starstorm. But nobody dead for the moment either. Resolution pretty close, but the haste rune will keep him up. Always want to fly, has got a brain sap, will look to take it from the Disruptor. Nice double impale coming up from Mag. The star from Resolution gets a Disruptor. And Vendetta wasn't even needed to get an extra kill, or was needed to get an extra kill, but he couldn't get in range. So they get one. I guess that is, for Relaxed, the best that they could do, because they were heavily outnumbered. And with the haste rune on Resolution, oh, another Nightmare. This could turn into something worse than just a kill, but there's no arrow coming from Resolution, as he didn't have the cooldown up.
Yeah, she has 15 charges, she has support coming in, and they're a little bit low on HP. If they dive that tower, they're probably going to give away unnecessary kills. It's better for them to just play this safe, but Resolution actually going for the Courier on top. He's going to get this and then go on the Viper here. This could be a dangerous one for him, though.
Viper has got the mech, though, yeah. Resolution going to try to teleport out, but that is 656 gold going the way of Yoki here on his Viper, and that is actually a pretty big deal, because this could be the start of Relax gaining their dominating position in the middle game, which we were expecting them to have based on the lineup.
Yeah, just based purely on the lineups, they're very, very dangerous in the middle lane. In the mid game, or I mean, we're only at the 10-minute mark. They already have their mech up. They're just grouping up mid. I mean, their positioning says all of it. The one person they don't have at this point is the Centaur, and I can understand that. At this stage, he's kind of a little bit useless. He doesn't have his Blink Dagger yet. He doesn't even have that higher levels. He's only just managed to hit level 6, really, and yeah, they're going to go for this mid tower, but with only Exorcism level 1, they're struggling to take this down that fast, and with Vanskor here as well, he's a pretty good counter push hero. Shadow Wave will heal up your own creeps and damage the enemy teams.
Mag is, I was going to say, not going to finish this chase. Moonlight Shadow coming out, in comes an arrow, hits on a range creep, lucky Tamar Wild. He's still going to get stuck in a Nightmare, though, as well as, well, Nightmare actually gets cancelled, and another Nightmare coming out for him. Call down as well, Resolution with the Starstorm, but the mechanism heals. Relax up again. Can they make something happen? Centaur comes in with the stun. Always want to fly, gonna get Grave. Not gonna go down just yet. Now it's Shakalo's time to die. There he goes. No Grave for him on his side. Resolution chasing down Tamar Wild, as it is Bane that still goes down to the Death Prophet. But Tamar Wild dodging an impale, still getting Poison Touch, gets a 4-man silence, tries to do whatever he can, but down he goes. It ends up being a 2-for-1, which could have been a lot worse, I guess, for Relax, but this should have been maybe a fight that they should have been able to take. The odds were in their favor, especially after that mech pop, but I felt like maybe Viper backed off too fast.
Yeah, the positioning was nice for Relax, but the big problem in that fight is neither the Disruptor nor the AA have level 6 at this point, and the heals coming out from Empire, they were able to keep most people alive and dive in, despite the fact that a fair number of them were on half health when they actually initiated that fight. And the thing is that Relax, they have their mech, but you know, 2 or 3 dazzle heals throughout that fight, and that's way more healing than a mech is at this stage of the game.
True. And he is, I mean, he's level 8. Talking about the supports levels, there are 3 level 5s still in this game, and 2 of which on the side of Relax, and a level 6 there for Relax as well. While the lowest 3 levels of Empire are level 5, and then 2 level 8s. So there's quite a big difference in those levels, as we see that in the experience graph as well. I mean, no surprise, it is Empire that is ahead. 5k experience. Nothing that the Relax cannot come back from, though. Same thing goes for the gold. I mean, it's 7,000 gold in favor of Empire, but they've got 2 extra towers down, and Relax, in theory, if they get a fight going their way, they can take down towers very fast. And actually, they're going for a pincer movement right here. They've smoked up, might be looking for Tema Wild. There is Mirana Arrow maybe waiting for someone. Resolution is nighttime. They don't see him. Now they know. Hello! Walk right into enemy heroes is not where you want to be, Tema Wild. But oh, miscommunication. Arrow still hits though, and the Starstorm mechanism keeps Tema Wild up. The silence misses, but it's Empire that is the one to try to run away. Always want to fly. Gonna be the target here first. Gets a Poison Nova. Static Storm, Kinetic Field coming out, locking in Resolution. They should be able to take him down, but the Grave keeps him alive. And with the Gyro coming in, with the cooldown, this Raptor picked off. Arrow flies into nothingness. It is Yoki that doesn't know where to go anymore, and it's only 1 dead, and that one is on the side of Relax, and that's 2 supports down. And it was so close for Relax to get some more targets, but they lose their momentum, and therefore lose a lot of levels, or at least a lot of potential to kill. They haven't killed off a single person here in this fight, and it's still going on. Yoki took an arrow. Resolution with the Haste Rune. Might be thinking about coming back. Mechanism comes out again from Yoki. It's a nice one. The Impale, though, up on Tema Wild. Starstorm coming out as well, and an extra hit from the Gyro. Fiend's Grip on the Centaur, and another kill goes to Silent. In comes the Chilling Touch again. They want to try and come back. Perhaps he can make it happen. Glimpse back. Resolution still with his Haste Rune, able to get out of the Kinetic Field. Still goes down to the Viper afterwards, though. As Max, sitting in his Vendetta, looking for a target, just waits to find the right one. Actually, he's gonna jump in, gonna blink in, almost blinking into the AA ult. But it's only Bane that gets hit by that one, who might get saved by the Grave, as Mag still goes down to the Ancient Deprivation. And Bane, indeed, in the fountain, drops still as well. That is gonna be finally 3 kills going the way of Relax, but that fight took way longer than they were hoping it was gonna take.
Yeah, they do finally manage to get those 3 kills, but I mean, Empire do not want to give ground in this fight. They stayed in that area even though it was way into the Relax's territory at this stage. And, I mean, the Dazzle is able to keep them up for a fair amount of time, but eventually, you know, coming back into that fight with, let's be fair, a lineup that at this stage isn't tanky. They have no strength heroes, you know, not that that always means that your lineup isn't tanky, but they have a Nyx Assassin. He does not have good strength gain. He has okay strength gain. Gyrocopter, who certainly doesn't. Mirana, who has pretty poor strength gain as well.
Arrow hits on the Death Prophet, Blinking Impale from Mag as well, and that's gonna be Death Prophet already dead. Tema Wild, can he be avenged is the question. A ult coming in, clears out Nyx Assassin. Resolution gonna get picked off as well there, gets a Grave, but I don't think it will save him all the way through. As Vanscore and Silent gonna try to run away from this, or are they? Silent does have his BKB sitting at 10 seconds. Could potentially 1 versus 5 the team of Relax at this point, but is he gonna try? Oh yes, he is gonna try. The cooldown will miss though, and that is actually
doesn't have the physical damage to beat them all.
Well, no.
There's too many, and they can kite him out, and
he is apparently scary enough though to force them out from the pit.
He can force them back, but he definitely can't kill them all at this stage. He doesn't have any major damage items. He's got a Basilius.
Yeah, he's got a Basilius. BKB has got some damage in it. Silent actually. He's got level 2 Rocket Barrage even. That's not even that much, but he's got level 4 Flak Cannon, perhaps. Now, him being there is enough to force Relax away. But look at the score right now, right? It is 15-7. We were at a stage where it was 8-0. So Relax definitely are able to gain some ground back from Empire. We see the graphs as well. They plateau a bit, and actually experience graph goes a bit towards Relax's favor again. But it is still... this is the balance point. And at this point of the game, things can turn around very quickly as Nyx Assassin just goes into Vendetta next to Sentry Ward, so he has to be careful here. Roshan, though,
this is dangerous for both teams.
Yeah. There is
I
no
feel like
Exorcism
Empire should
for...
just
Oh,
back
actually,
up. It would be a lot safer.
Yeah, Exorcism is up already again.
It's only level 1 Exorcism though, so it won't do too much damage, and they probably can keep themselves alive through this. but they're going to get hit by a big AA hole here.
Big
this is the turnaround.
Indeed. Kinetic Field, Static Storm, also Resolution already gonna go down there. Galim's back from Vanscore as well. The Aegis, though, still picked up by the Gyro. Turns on his BKB, Rocket Barrage, Flak Cannon, it all works. Able to kill up 2 already. Tries to get more. Impale hitting up on 2 as well. Can they get the 2 here? Can they get this Viper, who is very tanky, by the way? But Viper actually able to take out the Aegis from that Gyrocopter. They want to try and take down the Nyx so they can focus on the Gyrocopter. But Gyrocopter back alive and Nyx not dead means that they have to run. Shaklo, he is not going to be kill target for Mag because he's just way too tanky. But they won that fight. They might not have taken the Roshan. They might not have taken the Aegis. But they killed 4 targets on the side of Empire in one fight. And I don't think they've done that before in a fight.
No, and I mean, that just shows the strength of their lineup at this stage. The great thing for Relax as well is that their cooldowns are very short on most of their ults as well. Exorcism is the one with the longest cooldown, and that has a great uptime. That lasts for... How much time does it actually last for? What? It lasts for a long time. It lasts for 30 seconds. So your uptime for it is basically the same as Disruptor's ult. And, you know, that's a fairly short cooldown, only 85 seconds. Ancient Apparition, only 40 seconds. Which means that even though Empire can, you know, they can sustain themselves through these fights, if the fight lasts 40 seconds, they could potentially be hit by 2 AA ultimates. And these fights are lasting a long time because both teams have got items and or skills to help them stay alive for a long time.
Yeah, I was going to say, these fights last long. I notice it because I'm talking so much. I mean, we are 20 minutes into this game and we have 27 kills, so I don't think we can complain at all. But yeah, it's a very active game at the moment. Relax is starting to get back into this game. They have got the Blink Dagger off on the Centaur. Oh, nice BKB for Silent. BKB's TP out. He's not going to be able to take down the tower, but at least he won't die, which he otherwise would have. Tower will get denied by Relax. In the meantime, the tier 1 tower top is going down under the eye of Resolution and Always Wanna Fly, who are able to... well, not get the last hit, basically. They let that go to creep, so that's a bit of a waste. But nonetheless, the tower down again. That means no more outer towers for Relax. They've got 2 towers left standing, while all the towers of Empire are still standing.
Yeah, and whilst Relax, they are grouping up. They're playing to their team's strength at this point. They're way stronger as a 5-man group. They even have the Blink Dagger on the Centaur now, and he is the level 2 Exorcism. So this is a huge difference in damage. The big problem for them is this Gyro is getting big.
Yeah, and the Gyro already lands a call down. Wants to go for this Viper. Viper, though, picks up the mech. Fiend's Grip coming in from the side. Always Want to Fly. There's nothing that can stop him. Now only they can stop him, but not until Viper was already dead. They get Always Want to Fly, but it is the Centaur that drops as well, and they have to try and run right now. Mag still managed to get the Death Prophet. Means that all the spirits are now gone, and the 2 supports, the only ones left alive here.
He's going to get in with the Dark Troll Summon. A great play by Silent.
He is the Helm of the Dominator. Homing Missile chasing him as well. There's no glimpse. Kinetic Field might help out a little bit. And actually, look, it should be enough. I think it is enough. Yep, Arrow will not miss. Or not hit, rather. Will miss. Oh, Resolution. Why not? Jump inside enemy base. Get the Star Storm off. And with that haste rune, gets himself out in time to make sure that the tier 2 tower middle will drop as well. That is 4 dead on the side of Relax. And all they wanted was a tier 1 tower. Which in the end, I mean, they got the tower. But they paid dearly for that one.
Yeah, and even this AA ultimate, it's not going to end up doing much. It'll force them back a little bit, but Gyrocopter, he's got Helm with the Dominator. Mag, he can go back to base, he's not bothered, and they have Vanscore healing them up after this is over, so yeah, I mean, Empire, they can just go and take another fight if they want to, and like I was going to say, the big problem is that Relax, they're great as a 5-man death pool, but they haven't in any way stopped this Gyrocopter farming, and he is farming up an absolute storm right now. He's well ahead of the pack on the net worth
Death
graph.
Prophet doesn't even get a chance to do anything. Another stick charges, just get blown up. Walks into some enemy heroes, and you know what? This is where a lack of wards come into play. And they have got wards, it's not that. I mean, there's 2 wards on Dread, 2 observers, and 1 observer still stuck in the inventory of Dance and Trance, and they just haven't
got time to place them.
Yeah,
they haven't even got time because the fights are so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, these fights are so long, and normally the best time to place wards is either just after a fight or, you know, just before a fight, because then you have an opportunity to do it. If you do it just before a fight, that's a lot more dangerous, but just after a fight is the perfect time to do it. And yeah, I mean, just after the fight, generally they're all retreating back to their base in this game.
Yeah, and Empire already confident enough to go high ground. I mean, they've got an Necronomicon, they've almost got BKB and Resolution. We haven't really had that much time to talk about items, and still no time as there is a double impale from Mag. A ult will still fly, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The cooldown forces everybody of Relax back. They get a Fiend's Grip up on the Death Prophet and kill him off there as well, as the Viper dies, the Centaur dies. The Ancient Apparition is going to try to run back to base, still has got some creeps chasing him, but the GG has already been called despite Viper buying back. It is going to be game. Empire will win their game against Relax here in the excellent Moscow Cup, and I think these two teams kind of did their homesake justice. CIS Dota at its finest. Fights all over the place.
CIS of CIS Dota. I think this is the most Russian Dota you can actually get. I mean, it was a great fight for both teams there, but the problem with Relax is that they never shut down that gyrocopter. I mean, we saw it in the draft. They had the opportunity to go for an aggressive tri-lane.
Yeah.
They didn't decide to take it, and the Centaur Warrunner, he went to the jungle. So it's not like the gyrocopter is worried about too much about having to deny or having to zone out or go for kills at any point. He can just concentrate on getting CS. He got basically perfect CS for the first 10 minutes. He got a tower as well, and from that point on, he was just too farmed. And whilst at Empire, the rest of their team were making great plays, particularly Resolution, the big thing they relied on going up with the high ground is the fact that their gyrocopter was just unbeatable.
Yeah, and I mean, if you then have a Viper that has decent farm as well, his mechanism definitely helped, but he is not going to do as much as a gyrocopter is. So that was, I think, mislane. I'm not going to call it out on the draft, because I think if they just went for the riskier play, trying to go for that aggressive tri-lane, they would have had a better time, but for now, it is going to be over for them. We're going to see them later again, but first we're going to see Empire. Both of these two teams will face ahead in the next two games. Empire versus ahead will be up first, so stick around. We'll be right back with another best of one for the excellent Moscow Cup. Don't go anywhere.